In the name of those who cannot be here, let us denounce the iniquities, the rights being trampled underfoot of the indigenous people of Bolivia, where indigenous people, after a right-wing military coup, are being hunted like animals once again in that country, 80% of which is indigenous. So let us send a loud message. We are opposed to all US interventions in South America. Whether it's Bolivia, whether it's Venezuela, whether it's Argentina, whether it's Honduras, US, get out of South America. And we speak to you in the name, as other speakers have said, of the Palestinian people, ignored by the world. Their children being killed every single day, whereas NATO remains silent, defends Israel, and Trump in particular, together with his son-in-law, is in cahoots with the Israeli government. Solidarity with the Palestinian people. Solidarity with the people of Afghanistan, who have been under a war now longer than the Second World War. And solidarity with all those who expose these lies and crimes. Investigative journalists like Julian Assange being tried for publishing stories and crimes about the war. So make sure that Trump hears you outside Buckingham Palace today.
Thank you, Tariq.
Thank you very much, Murad, and thanks to everybody for being here tonight. We're here to protest about two things. One is NATO. We're told NATO is a force for peace. That is a lie. NATO is a force for war and has been involved in most of the wars of the last 2 decades in Afghanistan, in Libya, in all of these places. And what they are doing this week is they are trying to get more money for war, more expansion, more carrying on to make sure that they will have conflict wherever they want to, whether it's in Eastern Europe, now in Latin America, and everywhere else. So our first message here tonight is no to NATO. The second message here is no to Donald Trump. Trump is coming here to demand that we spend more on the military and less on our health service. He wants to get his hands on our health service, and we are saying, let's cut weapons, not healthcare. Let's put money into the things we really need, not into making the world a more dangerous place. And they're meeting tonight in Buckingham Palace. There'll be Trump and there'll be the pound shop Trump, Boris Johnson, who is hoping to get elected next week. If we want a world of peace, if we want a world of justice, make sure that you vote next week. Make sure you campaign for an anti-war government, and make sure that on December the 13th, we have Jeremy Corbyn in Downing Street. That on its own will not stop the warmongers, but it'll give them a hell of a fright. They call him a security risk, but actually the real security risk is NATO. The real security risk are the arms dealers. The real security risks are the climate change deniers, and that is why we're here tonight, united on all these different issues, to say no to NATO, no to Trump. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much indeed, Lindsay.
Another thing we shouldn't forget, whilst we march up to Buckingham Palace, is the extradition action against Julian Assange. I can't think of a better speaker to talk on that front than my colleague, John Rees, from the Don't Extradite Assange campaign. John.
There is one man in this country who, perhaps more than any other, told us the truth about the Afghan war, about the Iraq war, and about the American military machine. That man is the publisher of WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, and he is currently a political prisoner in this country, held in the Belmarsh high security prison on no charge whatsoever in this country, simply on the say-so of Donald Trump, who wants him extradited to the United States, where he could face 175 years in jail simply for telling us the truth about the wars of the American state. And it is part of the duty of any movement in this country to demand that he be set free. He will never see a jury trial in this country. His extradition trial next February has been moved to Belmarsh Prison, where there will barely be any public allowed to see the trial. This is a secret, no jury trial. It is an offence against democracy and against equity and against justice. So raise your voices to stop the extradition of Julian Assange, and think this to yourself. There is one man who is being feted by this government, who should be in jail, and there is one man who is in jail who should be free. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much indeed, John.
Evening. Who loves our NHS? So my name is Sonia Adesara, and I am proud to be an NHS worker. I am privileged to work for our socialised healthcare system, and it is my duty as a healthcare professional to stand up and fight against the destructive right-wing ideology of Tories and the Trump, who want to undermine and privatise our NHS and put the health of my patients and our NHS at risk. And I am not alone. 500 of my NHS colleagues and 1 million people of the British public have signed my petition to keep our NHS out of trade deals and end privatisation of our healthcare services. And why are we NHS workers so frightened of a Trump day deal and privatisation? Because we have seen the impact of what happens when private sector invades our NHS. Circa, Carillion, Hitchin, again after again, failure after failure. When profit is put before patient care, we see the destruction. We see, and it's my patients and we, the British public, that suffer the consequences. But the truth is, the Tories are running scared. That's why they tell the media the NHS is not for sale. But they also told the media that we're going to have 60 new hospitals. They were lying. They told the media that we'll have 50,000 new nurses. They were lying. So when they tell us our NHS is not for sale, do you think they are telling the truth? And our NHS is... Finish, okay. Right. Our NHS, the values it represents of kindness, of tolerance, treating everyone the same, regardless of your money, where migrant workers built our NHS and worked side by side. These values are crucial to our British society. So we have 8 days to save our NHS, save our society. So make your voice heard. Say these 3 words loud and clear so they hear us in those buildings. Our NHS is
Not for sale.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's warmed my heart to see expressions like this and so many other expressions in the UK of solidarity with Bolivia. Because Bolivia is the new victim of Donald Trump. Donald Trump has gone around the world sowing destruction, and Bolivia is the new victim. And you know, for him, my country, Bolivia, committed so many crimes. Our first crime was to nationalize our natural resources and become the fastest growing economy in the region. Our second crime was to expel US military bases from our country, to expel the DEA and all of the US agencies that were intervening in our democracy. But the worst crime of all was that we elected an indigenous president that ended 500 years of apartheid that our country has lived. Those are the crimes that we committed. And this is how Donald Trump is restoring democracy, by launching a coup that has launched 2 massacres in just 3 weeks, a coup that's killed 34 people. This is how the US spread democracy. This is what they mean when they spread. They mean destroying indigenous democracies and imposing puppet governments that massacre the people. And I tell you, we're facing an election in this country as well. And if they can do it to Bolivia, they can do it anywhere. They can do it to any country that dares to stand up for itself, that dares to elect a government that defends the people, that defends the many rather than the few. And so we need so much more of this. We need to tell the truth. We need to say that first, this was a coup. The US are saying this was a coup. This was a coup. When the military intervened and exiled the elected left-wing president of the country, that is a coup. So we need all of you to spread the news. Say it. We are against this coup. Thank you very much. Viva Bolivia!
Remember that film, what's it called?
Shame on you! Boris! Shame on you! Boris! Shame on you! Boris! Shame on you! Make some noise, Trafalgar!
unstoppable.
Another world is possible.
We are 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 unstoppable.
Another world is possible.
And you're gonna have to say it like we are unstoppable. Because we fucking are. We are unstoppable.
Another world is possible.
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 Let's remind them of how ashamed they should be for all the things they've done. When I say some of the leaders who are in there, I want you to say shame on you and say it with the utter disgust that you feel against them. Boris Johnson!
Shame on you.
Donald Trump!
Shame on you.
Boris Johnson!
Shame on you.
Donald Trump!
Shame on you.
Erdogan!
Shame on you.
Victor Orban!
Shame on you.
Macron!
Shame on you.
Merkel!
Shame on you.
Boris Johnson!
Shame on you.
Donald Trump!
Shame on you.
Erdogan!
Shame on you.
Victor Orban!
Shame on you.
Emmanuel Macron!
Shame on you.
Boris Johnson!
Shame on you.
Donald Trump!
Shame on you.
Boris Johnson!
Shame on you.
Donald Trump!
Shame on you.
Boris Johnson!
Shame on you.
Donald Trump!
Shame on you.
Erdogan!
Shame on you.
Boris Johnson!
Shame on you.
Erdogan!
Shame on you.
Donald Trump!
Shame on you.
NATO!
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 Shame on you.
Say it with the contempt of all the Iraqis and Libyans and Afghans who are dead because of NATO. NATO! Shame on you! 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 Shame on you!
Shame on you. Shame on you.
Shame on you! Boris Johnson! Boris Johnson! Boris Johnson, love talk shit! Boris Johnson,